What's up, guys? My name is Gabe and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the instant reaction to USC's 59-20 win over the Georgia Southern Eagles. And this was really an interesting game. Still feel like we have a ton of questions about this team. More questions than answers, if I'm being honest. Starting off with the positives, Wayman Jordan is an absolute freak at the running back position. That room is really starting to sort itself out. It's Wayman Jordan and everybody else. I mean, Eli Sanders is a wonderful complementary back. Has a good mix of speed, vision, and power, but Wayman Jordan's on a different level. This is a game-changing kind of running back we have, guys. First carry of the game for him. He comes out, really bad fumble, but he responded in such a good way, going 16 carries for 167 yards and a score. The vision, the elusiveness, the power, the speed. A lot of people were telling me he's slow. He's not going to be a big-time back. Absolutely zero truth to that. This guy is an absolute dog. Loved what we saw from Wayman, everything outside of that fumble. Jaden Mayava on the day went 16 of 24 for 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yes, 16 completions for 412 yards. That is incredible. The thing with Jaden tonight, when things were open and easy, he was extremely efficient. He was on time and he was accurate. But when things started to get congested and when things started to get a little more complicated, he was reverting to some of last year's habits. He threw a ball across his body that absolutely should have been picked. Against a more quality team, it is getting picked 100%. He was a little quick through his progressions. When you have wideouts like Lemon and Lane where you can just dump it off or just chuck it up to them, and they can either make insane catches like we saw with Jacoby, or take it 74 yards like we saw with Lemon, it makes your job really, really easy. So my question going forward for Jaden, because don't get me wrong, he played well tonight, but my question for him is going to be when it breaks down, when it gets hard, when it gets muddy. How does he respond then? Because a few times tonight when he was rushed, the mechanics were a little erratic. He threw the ball into coverage. So I personally feel like we still have no idea what kind of quarterback Jaden is going to be come conference play time. Is he going to be the guy that's throwing for 400 yards and 4 scores every week? Are the turnovers going to start to creep back when the pressure increases? We're just going to have to wait and see. No one knows on that one. Looking at the wide receivers, we talked about it, but Lemon and Lane, absolutely insane. The craziest thing about the entire game is that Jacoby's catch in the end zone didn't even surprise me. Didn't even really freak out about it. Just so used to that with him, used to those circus catches. I mean, he literally just palmed the ball. Insane. And Makai Lemon's ability after the catch is just extraordinary. Makes people miss. Really good speed, really good burst. Love everything we saw from him. And another positive on the offensive front, we have to talk about the tight end room. Those guys were involved. Those guys were making plays. We saw the first ever touchdown in the career of Walker Lyons. And man, I forget what play it was on, but Walker Lyons was sprinting down the field to help block for somebody. That dude's got some serious wheels. You saw it on that little sprint out too. Would love to see him get some more run after catch opportunities in conference play. So Lemon and Lane, Lyons and McCree, those are probably going to be your top 4 pass catchers. Because I had a lot of concerns about the wide receiver room going into this game. And I'm even more concerned now. We do not have a real wide receiver 3 at this point in time. Zacharias Williams had a really good play on the coverage bust, but it was just that, a coverage bust. He was wide open. Didn't see much of anything from DJ Jordan or Tanu Hines. And outside of that, no other receiver caught a pass. So I have no idea what to expect from that room going forward. If we lose Lemon or Lane, or God forbid both, we are going to be in big, big trouble at the wide receiver spot. Now, offensive line, something very interesting before the game. Some people are saying it's for disciplinary matters. I'm not sure the reason, but Alani Noah did not come out with the starters and was in fact demoted to the second team. Now, the timing of this is quite interesting considering he just had his best performance in a USC jersey last week. So don't know what that was about, but he did not come in at all. The offensive line was Elijah Page at left tackle, Tobias Raymond at left guard, Killian O'Connor at center, Micah Banuelos at right guard, and Justin Tuanu at right tackle. Now, seeing O'Connor and Banuelos next to each other, that did not look like a Big Ten offensive line. It just didn't. Very small, and both of them aren't that athletic. So the question going forward, was this just a one-week thing? Or did Alani Noah do something that's going to keep him in the doghouse? Or was this performance-based? Hopefully we get some more clarity on that in maybe the post-game pressers. If I do see any quotes during the middle of recording this video, I will fill you in. But I would like to do my rewatch before I comment too heavily on the offensive line. That's not really what I'm looking at during the game, and nothing glaring stood out to me. So definitely want to take a deeper dive on that. Flipping over to the defense, just at a grand level. In general, overall, I'm not concerned with the defensive line. I'm concerned with the linebackers, and I'm very concerned with the secondary. So let's start with the defensive line. Were they good enough in this game? Absolutely not. They could play so much better than they did tonight. The intensity was not there from the jump, in my opinion. Absolutely need to see better from them. we were kind of getting gashed in the run game. Like, it was not good there for a while. We looked really pedestrian, really iffy inside. Do I think that's going to be their level all year? No, I do not. And while the run defense was suspect, I thought the pass rush was actually very good in this one. Cam Fountain had a very good day. Anthony Lucas was absolutely everywhere. He finally got his first career sack, so congrats to him. Love to see that. But the thing with our pass rush, we are so versatile positionally. You have Devin Tompkins who can play inside or outside. And on passing downs, having that presence in the middle of your defensive line, a pass rush specialist, that's absolutely huge. Now, another thing I want to do a rewatch on is the debut of Jakeem Stewart. Because at first glance, it seemed like he had a rough one out there, but I wasn't just consistently locked in on number 4, so I do want to go back and rewatch that before I comment further. I know a lot of people on USC Twitter were talking about that. But moving back to the linebackers, I am concerned with this group. We're not even at the third game and Eric Gentry has already picked up some sort of injury. Don't know the severity, don't know if it's going to keep him out, but it was for sure bothering him for a long period in this game and he kept playing through it. Now, why in the hell are we playing Eric Gentry when he's clearly banged up against Georgia Southern? I do not know. For the life of me, couldn't tell you. But it seemed to get worse as the game went on and he eventually did have to be taken out. He finished the day with 10 tackles, a sack, and 2 TFLs. But the big red flag for me again was the performance of Mike linebacker Desmond Stevens. He was not good in this one. He was pretty ineffective overall, very slow to react to the play, and just quite simply not producing. You see Eric Gentry, 10 tackles. That's what this D'Anton Lynn scheme is built to do. These linebackers are meant to have lanes to come down and make plays on the ball carrier and the quarterback. And Desmond hasn't done that in the first 2 weeks. So I am very concerned with the Mike spot going forward. I'm also concerned with the Will. Now, Eric Gentry's health is going to be a big deal there because Tamir Robinson didn't seem ready to play at all. And then you have guys like Elijah Newby and Jaden Walker who flashed in this game, made a big TFL on a beautiful play he read, saw it from the jump, came down and crashed down on a swing pass. Very beautiful play from him. Love to see that. But yeah, overall linebackers are concerning. And the secondary, oh my goodness. We're having communication issues. Bishop Fitzgerald definitely came back down to earth in this one. There was a coverage bust, again, that allowed a big touchdown for Georgia Southern. And at first, Bishop was gesturing towards DJ Harvey like it was his fault. But Mark Helfrich on the broadcast broke it down. And just from my eye and from what he said, there's no world where that's not on Bishop. So we just have to get that cleaned up. That's the second week in a row that we've had a coverage bust. Absolutely have to fix that immediately. And one thing I was very surprised about is Kevin Longstreet playing as much as he did. I mean, I know we're banged up at nickel, but it's usually not a good sign when you have a walk-on playing that early in the game and that much. But yeah, nickel depth is a major concern. We need Alex Graham back, and we need to move somebody else down there, plain and simple. At first watch, I thought that DeCarlos Nicholson had a very good game, even just outside of the interception. I thought he was very solid. But yeah, outside of that, Chasen Johnson had a rough debut, had a penalty. Another thing, circling back to the front seven. I meant to say this earlier, but I totally forgot. I have never seen a USC team commit so many hands to the face fouls throughout a game. Like, a few of them weren't called, but we did get called on a few of them as well. Our front seven was just thrusting their hands up into guys' faces really aggressively, and I could not figure out why it kept on happening. The defense seemed to just lack focus from the start, and that definitely carried its way back to the secondary, where, yeah, I have some major concerns going forward here, particularly at the corner and nickel positions. I thought we saw some very good plays from a guy like Braylon Conley. Very good closing speed, very physical. I call him Denzel Ward Jr. for a reason. Is he going to be an answer going forward? I don't know. But Christian Pierce isn't the most mobile safety in the world. And when you have him out there on the field with Kevin Longstreet, the secondary was just very slow in my opinion. It's a very good thing that we're playing the level of competition we are because we have a lot of stuff to work out on that back end. And no doubt it will be corrected. I do trust this coaching staff. But yeah, concerned about the secondary. If you compare the play of the linebackers to the start of last year when Mason Cobb and Eric Gentry were dominating against LSU and Wisconsin, like the linebacker play has kind of gone off a cliff when you compare it to that. So that's a bit of a red flag for me. And yeah, just coming away from this game, I think I have more questions than answers. Overall, to me, that just looked like an 8-4 team. Like, I think we're going to have some very good performances. We're going to put up a lot of points in certain games. We're going to drop a few games we shouldn't. We're probably going to win a game we shouldn't. But yeah, I for sure see this as an 8-4 team. After seeing this team on the field today, I feel pretty solid about that record prediction. For any of you who yelled at me preseason and got very upset, please let me know if you've changed your mind at all. Very curious to hear what you think about this. But yeah, this was the instant reaction. What we learned is going to be out on Monday after I do my full rewatch. Going to be doing a reaction and breakdown pod with Tim Prangley over at the USC Football Podcast. Link is in the description. And yeah, really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for listening. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.